Now I just have to remember how to make the path out of here. Because, throw me a water bucket.
Hold on. Let me go grab one.
Oh, is it in the chest?
Yeah.
Okay, get it then.
I'm continuing my history of doing something entirely uninteresting.
And probably unnecessary?
Yeah, probably.
I'm setting up a water source over here by the...
Yeah, infinite water source. That way, when we inevitably realize we need more than we had.
Oh, I knew going into this we would need more than you were bringing, but I also knew we could do this and it wouldn't matter.
Yeah.
That's why I didn't say anything about it.
Fair enough.
Look, the less I tell Jay, the better it is for everyone.
Yeah, it's usually more entertaining that way. It's also why I usually wander off and do something on my own.
Oh, creeper.
Uh-oh.
Can I hit it?
Where be?
Oh, it's...
Hold on.
I got it.
Nice. Is that an extended bow?
Yes, it is.
Yeah, I was going to say, that killed that creeper awful fast without it seeming to notice you.
It killed it in one hit because the first one missed.
Ah.
Anyway.
I'm just wasting so much of this extended diamond pick.
Good job.
I don't even care. We've got 19 diamonds in the chest still.
You know what you should do? Depending how much of it you have left, there's an obsidian field down there by where the creeper was.
Yeah.
Go down there and get some blocks so you can make your nether portal.
That's a good call. Wow, I used up a lot of health. Alright.
And, you know, while you're doing that, once my lag spike resolves, I'll start working on the funnel.
Yes, we need a mob funnel.
Well, there's like a certain way to do it. I'm trying to remember it just off the top of my head.
And it is a fluffy thing. And it is ah, there we go. Thankfully, the field of obsidian is not that far.
No, it's not. It's pretty easy to find. That's how I knew it was there, because when I went down to check where that creeper was, I saw it off in the corner. I am so lagged.
Yeah.
Oh, did it finally catch back up? No, because the water is still missing.
Well, that's unfortunate.
Yeah, like I drew up the second bucket of water and the middle block just is empty.
I don't know if it's your computer or mine anymore. My computer is pretty Detroit at this point in time. So, yeah, I was,
I really need a new one anyway.
Yeah. So I was laughing personally as I was telling Rob about the whole BotCon situation that's going on with you guys. Because, alright, when I was 16, as I pointed out, you know, many times.
Yes.
I did, you know, the martial arts tournaments and had fun. And I was pretty much the entirety of the mailing staff for an international martial arts tournament that had, a couple thousand people every year come to this state. I did all of it. I mean, like, between 2, 3, or even 5,000 people every year. And for 3 years in a row, I was the mailing department and registration. And at 16 years old, me was able to register these people successfully without major fuck-ups. So, it was just one of those, I don't know how you do that, or you do what they have done.
Badly.
But at 16, with no major help whatsoever, aside from being told, do this or I'll kick your ass.
Right.
You know, I was able to accomplish it without major screw-ups. But, you know, of course, times were simpler then, back in 1999.
The thing is, the BotCon organizers, like, used to, the only way you could register with them is by faxing a form in. And it was, like, when I say, you know, up to a point, that was, like, the last year they did that was 2010. Or 2011. So, like, it has not been that long since faxing was the only option. And the sad thing is, it worked better then.
Yeah, and that's... Sometimes if shit works, don't change it.
Right, but I mean, fax machines are, nobody has a fax machine of their own.
We do.
Well, and like, sometimes you can do it, like, you can get fax software for your computer that will do that purpose, because ultimately all it is emailing directly to a printer.
And plus, Rob's printer is a fax machine.
Right, but I mean...
Yeah, I know. It's rarer in modern times unless you're Japanese.
But, like, overall, there was just, everybody wanted online registration, and it's not an unreasonable thing to ask for.
No, it's not at all.
So, ever since then, basically every year, they've had a new system they've tried to roll out to do the online registrations.
Yeah.
And every year, something goes... Well, like, there's been years where it goes pretty smoothly, and, something else then kind of goes wrong to compensate for it. But, this year has been, like, the worst by far for getting registrations done.
Yeah.
Where pre-registration opened 3 weeks to the day before the convention doors open.
I still don't...
Nobody understands. Don't worry about it.
I mean, like you said, it was just 2,000 to 3,000 people in order to make sure that we got shit done properly in advance. Registration was 4 months ahead.
Uh-huh.
Because you were dealing with people coming from pretty damn far or other parts of the country or whatever, or other countries.
Right.
Of course, and this is, back in 1999, so of course the internet was not what people know it as even today.
Mm-hmm.
So, from my point of view, it's just hard to figure out how they regressed. I was like, we have better technology than we ever had. You can buy software that allows you to create online registration for events.
Mm-hmm.
You can buy web hosting from websites that specifically are set up for event registration.
Right.
You could set it up and just have Ticketmaster do it for you. And they somehow made... Because, yes, Ticketmaster handles cons.
Yeah. Ticketmaster is very happy to take anyone's money for handling their event.
Uh-huh. But, of course, they want to make sure that no one gets any sum of money that they could otherwise have for themselves.
Yes. And as a, in terms of, like, business concerns...
That makes sense.
Yes, I understand that being a thing. I'm not saying they're not entitled to make their money.
Mm.
It's just, there's a balancing point.
It's like, I always have told people the trick to any successful business is always make it very easy for the person to give you their money.
Yes.
And the easier it is, the more happily they will just hand you their money.
Mm-hmm.
But if you make it hard, they will start to wonder why they're doing it in the first place.
Yes.
Which is kind of what's happening. Especially when,
It's not happening enough is the problem.
Yeah. I liked small anime conventions as a thing when I used to go to them. Now, I get that this was, the first real Transformers convention organized for Transformers fans.
Right, but that was under completely different people, so,
it was yeah. I mean, that's like if they replaced all of the Three Stooges and then, well, like that Three Stooges movie that came out a few years ago.
Right.
That wasn't the Three Stooges.
No.
It was...
No.
Now, I'll admit, I like Will Sasso, who played Curly. I think that was Will Sasso. I can never remember his name.
And I mean, that's not like the Brady Bunch movies from the 90s.
Nah.
Because the Three Stooges were characters, but they were also those people.
Uh-huh.
It was those people playing fictionalized versions of themselves. You can replace the Brady Bunch actors.
And it doesn't really matter.
Yeah, I mean, it's the situation that makes the difference.
Well, you cannot... Well, we brought in a new Steve because the old one broke. I mean... but... I don't know, it's just...
We're gonna need another Timmy.
Yep. You always need more Timmys. There's never enough Timmys. And no one gets where that reference is from anymore, and that bothers me. But,
I try to keep it alive.
Yeah. I had one of the most depressing endings of any children's show I've ever watched.
Hey kids, it's the Ice Age.
Hey kids, everyone dies, and it's actually the lovable main character's fault. But yeah, I mean, it's just you can't look at things like. Right now, there's a lot of people I know who used to go to Otakon, you know, the big anime convention here in Maryland. One of the cons that actually started up the big anime convention trend in the U.S.
Right.
And, oh god, there's like 20,000 people a goddamn year now. And it's absolute hell. And there's no more place for it in Maryland. So they decided to move it to D.C. And DC, the part of DC that they decided to move it to, they might as well have, because I think it's going to be really close to Anacostia. And that has one of the highest murder rates in the country.
Oh.
I mean, near that of Chicago. So, or at least it used to. But either way, it's not exactly a pleasant place. So, people are like, well, you can't stop going to Otakon. Like, yeah, you can. It is now in a place where you can feel as though your life is in danger, and it is valid. No, you get to do that, and you know what? Don't you dare fucking bring any even slightly realistic cosplay prop weapons.
Yeah, no.
The DC cops will shoot your ass on the spot for seeing you with a gun that looks even slightly realistic. But no, there are people who are seriously like, oh, you can't stop going. Like, oh, I stopped going years ago, and trust me, that has given me a wonderful perspective. The perspective is, I don't give a fuck. Honey Badger does not give a damn. Alright. Yeah.
Why am I carrying fence? Why do I hear a skeleton?
Because one probably spawned.
Oh yeah, it did. No, wait, that was a block. Never mind. I just saw a squarish thing moving of its own accord, and, you know.
I just put in a fancy wall for no reason whatsoever.
I noticed.
But
I'm engineering myself a new pick, because mine's about had it.
But yeah, that's just my whole thing on the matter has been, you guys need to grow up. Not about the BotCon thing, the Otakon thing, because...
Oh, the BotCon thing, too.
I mean, everyone's entitled to have a great deal of nostalgia. I have enough for 2 or 3 people. It gets in the way. They said, walked into the local comic book store, a couple years ago, and they had the original Wreck-Gar with all of his pieces.
Oh yeah, I think I remember you mentioning that, actually.
It was one, I had as a kid, and I was like, oh, I remember this. This was so cool. And texted Rob, was like, am I having a nostalgia trip? Should I buy this or not? And Rob was like, you are having a nostalgia trip. Do not buy it. And then I looked at it more closely. I'm like, this thing looks awful. I mean, it's compared to the newer ones they've been named. It's like, no. No.
Okay, so, like, I mean, even I'm not above the effect of nostalgia, because, like, during the BotCon trip, the podcast group me and Rob are part of, those of us who are going, we found this arcade in Brookfield.
Yeah, I heard about the amazing arcade.
And they have Cruisin' USA machines. And, like, the thing I'm looking forward to most is sitting my ass down in one of those Cruisin' USA machines, sucking horribly at it, but still,
having the best time you've had in fucking years.
Because I have nostalgia of playing Cruisin' USA on the N64, because I'm one of, like, 5 people that has legitimate nostalgia for the N64.
Yeah, I have legitimate nostalgia for the N64, in spite of its awful controller.
I kind of love the controller, sorry.
I don't know, the Tri-Wang design always felt a little odd, but I did like it. I mean, it's awful, but... Oh, hi, skeleton. Sorry. Let me put down some light. Ow. There may be a skeleton coming in your direction. Ow.
Alright, I'll stand
I
ready.
got him.
Oh, okay.
But,
Then I will collect his things.
Oh, the controller took some time to get used to, but now I can pick it up and just be like, I know this controller perfectly.
Well, that's the thing, though, because, like, the first moment I picked up the N64 controller, it felt fine. It worked. It was perfect for me.
It felt like the devil when I first picked it up.
Uh-huh.
It just was one of those, I was used to the Super Nintendo and PlayStation control pads.
Uh-huh.
Because we got a PlayStation before we got, N64. Because I think the plan was, in my brother's point of view at least, never to buy an N64 because the controller looked awful.
Uh-huh.
And, that was just at the time. But yeah, I mean, it was just... it took me a while, and then I got used to it, and I grew to love it. But it's still one of those things when I pick it up now, it's like, I remember this feels right, it still is alien. I mean... But, at the same time, so much goddamn nostalgia. I think Cruisin' USA is one of those games I might have played with my friend Dave as well. I cannot remember for the life of me half of the games we played.
I mean, Cruisin' USA is not even a good game.
But it doesn't really matter.
No, it doesn't.
The memory.
It doesn't. There's not a lot, and this arcade's great too, because like you pay $15 when you go in, and all the machines are on free play. So it doesn't matter how shit you are at the game, because you're not like losing quarters into them.
That's magical.
Yes, like as soon as I found that, like I was kind of reluctant on it because I'm terrible at video games.
Yeah.
I don't have the skill enough in any kind of arcade game to warrant throwing money into a machine.
Yeah.
But if I can, pay my $15 to walk in the door and, play this for 5 minutes, then go do something else and just, wander between machines as the urge strikes me, I mean, I'm all about that.
Yeah, that's perfect. I mean, that's a great system. There needs to be more of that everywhere. Of course, there need to be more arcades everywhere as far as I'm concerned. But
well, yeah.
Oh, well, things are disappearing.
But yeah, Galloping Ghost in Brookfield.
I also discovered recently, because I've been wanting to build myself a arcade-style console controller. And I recently discovered, those little plug-and-play devices they make?
Yeah, the ones with all the games preloaded in them. Yeah.
Well, it turns out most of those actually have arcade-style joystick components in them.
Huh.
Like, reasonable micro-switch stuff with reasonably good tactile, with a good tactile feel. So, I've started, we had so many of those from random Goodwill finds. That I just started dismantling them and collecting the components that would be needed for, building, because they're smaller than regular arcade size, but they're the same type of components. So I've got, just a box full of half-sized arcade parts. And I intend to build a half-sized arcade joystick with them once I get enough of them. Let me see. We don't really need this tunnel, do we?
The one going off to the one side.
Well, the one that we come in through.
Oh no, the tunnel home. Well, I mean, if we want to go home, I guess we kind of need it, but
true. All right.
Like you can maybe like wall it off, but put another exit somewhere.
Yeah, I was gonna. I have no idea where you're actually building the outlet for this.
See the other tunnel I dug?
Yeah.
It's going to be somewhere over there. I'm using that tunnel as a spacing system.
I should unwall off that tunnel.
Perhaps.
Well, I did. I need to get out of here, and
Yeah.
Stupid water.
Yeah.
All right.
It does that.
Well, I have spent the time making the spawning room look slightly prettier.
Okay.
And that's about it.
Okay.
And you're building all this fancy shit, and I made it look neat.
Well, to be fair, I'm, doing different things, so it's not like...
Yeah.
this is something I could tell you what to be doing.
Yeah, you're kind of doing it from scratch.
Basically, because, I mean, I don't even know what the shit I'm doing.
Yeah. Sometimes all you can do is just shrug.
I do that a lot.
Yeah. Alright. The fuck was I doing? Alright. That's a question I asked.